So UDM leader Bantu Holomisa has written to Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane to look into Glencore's woes in the U.S. Holomisa says Mkhwebane should consider approaching the United States government for evidence against this mining giant. And this comes after the company pleaded guilty to bribery and violating the U.S. Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. It was then fined a whopping $1.2 billion. That's in dollars, by the way, not necessarily in rands. For more on this, let's bring in Bantu Holomisa himself, the General, joining us via our video link this morning. It's great to see you, sir. Thanks as always for making time to chat to us. What Glencore admitted to doing is indisputably grand, it's widespread, and I think whatever sanction they get, even they'll admit, is warranted. But in that U.S. investigation, I don't necessarily remember seeing South Africa in particular being mentioned. So with that in mind, what exactly are you asking the Public Protector to do here?
In that report of the U.S., it is said that about 7 countries in Africa are involved in this scandal. All we are asking Mr. the Public Protector, is for her to verify whether South Africa is not part of that, given that the same company, Glencore, was once mentioned in the Zondo Commission, more or less along the same accusations, which are now emerging in USA. So if South Africa, therefore, or rather the answer is in the affirmative from such an inquiry, then the Public Protector, which is the department, after all, which is responsible for the current investigation under the state capture heading. So it can, for instance, that is the Public Protector's office, they can coordinate this investigation with the current evidence leaders at state capture, the Hawks, as well as possibly the NPA. So it's just to make sure. We know also that we are in this quagmire as we speak about the price, the oil price, because the same company was given oil reserves by South Africa for nothing. So it might well be that we extend the terms of reference as to what role did Glencore buy the oil reserves of South Africa, and when and who benefited out of that, given that they are a company which takes a shortcut in achieving their objectives.
Yeah. What we've learned from that investigation from the U.S. is that Glencore essentially exploited the governance weaknesses in several African countries to do things like pay bribery and commit other corrupt activities. What or who do you reckon are the persons of interest in the South African leg of this investigation, as you ask the Public Protector to step in?
Well, at this stage, I have no suspicions, but it's a matter of principle I'm asking the Public Protector to do. We know that this government, for instance, has been taking bribes from the international companies or partnered under the guise of PEE and siphoned millions, if not billions, for their party coffers. So I wouldn't be surprised if such a thing happened since 1994. You will remember when Penuel Maduna sold the oil reserves of this country at one stage. And when he was asked, his answer was saying the world is awash with oil. Then later on we heard that the Glencore has also bought the oil reserves. I think it was under the current Zuma Cyril Ramaphosa government. So what's going on?
It's a fair question. And the reason why I asked you the question I posed a short while ago is because you made reference to what was said about Glencore at the state capture inquiry. It was Brian Molefe who mentioned that he suspects that Glencore may have used its connections to politically influential people like Cyril Ramaphosa to carry out nefarious business in South Africa. Can you do you envision a context where this investigation by the Public Protector does not in one way or the other involve the President?
Well, if one takes what Brian Molifa had said in the commission, no doubt there are pending hanging questions and answers which Judge Zondo has to clear. He has an opportunity because he still has to table a final report, especially now that USA has said there are about 7 countries. He has to make sure that what he heard from or listened to Brian Molifa does not in any way would jeopardize his findings in future. So it's in his interest to make sure. Yes, I confirm Brian didn't mince his words. And I think USA, in a way, is sort of indicating that this company, wherever they are, they don't follow the rules and regulations.
Right. There are also real questions, which I'm sure you expect, General, around whether or not the Public Protector is adequately capacitated to deal with the scale of this kind of investigation. Given, let's call it the things she's having to deal about her own tenure, or the things she's having to deal with about her own tenure. We know that she's currently involved in all manner of litigation where she's pushing back against adverse findings against her and against this process which is questioning her legitimacy in office. How worried are you about those kind of things?
I'm not worried at all because here we are not personalizing this matter. That office, it is the responsibility of it to see to it that the state capture, which was recommended, a state capture investigation, which was recommended by that office in any event, comes to fruition and conclusion. So whether the current public protector is suspended tomorrow or is expelled and so on, the life must continue. That office will continue to investigate if it comes out that South Africa was also bribed by Glencore.
I know you
Let's stop personalizing these matters.
Fair enough. I know you recently wrote to the Public Protector's office. Have you received a response yet?
We wrote yesterday. I think we should be expecting an answer within 2 days or so.
All right. General Bantu Holomisa. All right. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Really appreciate your time. Bantu Holomisa, of course, is the UDM leader in South Africa, but also speaking to us now as a person who's got an interest in making sure that there is some kind of investigation, at least insofar as the suspicions are concerned about Glencore's nefarious activity, which they've admitted to, by the way, and that's connection to South Africa, given what's already in the public domain. Watch the space. This may be a very big story in the near future.